more funding for illegal DEI programs. It means no more thing for transgenderism and wokeness.
She said there will be no wokeness here. Yeah. Let me explain something to you. Because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
For the longest, women couldn't be in these positions. Imagine you, press secretary. You know how silly you are? Then y'all gotta show women that's silly. Y'all women make people consider, should women even be doing this? Karoline Leavitt give us life. Y'all fools make us want to turn it.
Talk about the fact that Democrats have been labeling President Trump to democracy for the better half of 10 years. Let's talk about how they have compared him to one of the mass in the history of the world, and that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden weaponized the court system and the justice system in this country against Donald Trump in an attempt to imprison him. He sat through a courthouse for 7 weeks this past year, and the Democrats were hoping he would go to jail. That is real political that has led to 2 heinous attempts on President Trump's life. That grace of God, he was able to escape, and he is here with us today. So yes, President Trump knows a little bit about political because he's experienced it himself. And talking about the tragic realities of war that Liz Cheney and her father Dick Cheney have got this country to is not political. It's talking about the reality of foreign conflicts that the Washington, D.C. establishment have sold out young Americans.
Joy Behar recently made a controversial remark that has sparked widespread criticism. On a recent episode of The View, Behar commented on Karoline Leavitt, Donald Trump's 27-year-old press secretary, suggesting that her attractiveness may have influenced her appointment. "I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10, Behar said. The remark quickly drew backlash from viewers across the political spectrum, with many deeming it inappropriate and hypocritical. Critics pointed out the contradiction in Behar's stance, highlighting that she has long been an advocate for feminism and women's empowerment. Some argued that her comments undermined the hard work and achievements of professional women who earn their positions through merit. One social media commentator encapsulated the frustration. Joy Behar says Karoline Leavitt was picked based on her looks. Isn't that the exact kind of misogyny The View claims to oppose? Karoline Leavitt did not remain silent. Rather than ignoring the comment, she responded with confidence and poise. She debunked Behar's claim with evidence, emphasizing her education and experience, while redirecting the conversation to The View's history of bias. Let's talk about the fact that Democrats have been labeling President Trump a threat to democracy for years, she began, shifting the discussion to a broader issue. By pointing out how media rhetoric fuels hostility toward conservative leaders like Trump, she made her case effectively. She cited past instances to support her argument, demonstrating how narratives like these have real-world consequences. Her response was more than just a defense. It was a direct challenge. She accused The View of resorting to personal attacks rather than engaging in substantive debate. As she spoke, the atmosphere in the studio noticeably changed. Joy Behar grew visibly uncomfortable, and Whoopi Goldberg appeared momentarily at a loss for words. Tensions escalated when Whoopi Goldberg attempted to intervene. She tried to steer the discussion away from Trump, but Levitt refused to let the topic be derailed. No, please, Levitt said sharply. Let's stay on topic. She then continued, arguing that narratives portraying Trump as a threat to democracy embolden radicals and create dangerous situations. Her refusal to be sidetracked was impressive. She remained composed and firm despite the panel's attempts to shift the conversation. Ironically, Goldberg's intervention only strengthened Leavitt's argument, making her point even more powerful. Viewers took notice. Social media quickly erupted with praise for Karoline Leavitt's handling of the situation. Many described it as one of the most compelling moments in recent political television debates. But Leavitt wasn't merely defending herself. She was exposing what she saw as The View's double standard. One of her most striking critiques was aimed at The View's approach to women's empowerment. The View loves to claim they're all about lifting women up, she said. But the second a woman doesn't align with their left-leaning ideology, they demean her in exactly the way they claim to fight against. Her argument resonated with many viewers, prompting them to question whether the show truly supports all women or only those who share its political beliefs. The discussion took another turn when Whoopi Goldberg made a controversial statement about wokeness. In response to Levitt's comments, Goldberg said, "There will be no wokeness here." Her comment, meant to dismiss the issue, instead sparked further debate. Goldberg later launched into a defense of wokeness, describing it as a necessary force for social change. However, her response came across as dismissive rather than constructive. Critics argued that Goldberg's tone was patronizing, particularly in the way she addressed Levitt. Instead of fostering meaningful dialogue, the conversation became heated and divisive. Ultimately, the incident highlighted the ongoing divide in how different political perspectives interpret social and cultural issues. The irony? By reacting the way she did, Goldberg inadvertently reinforced the criticisms of wokeness, that it often comes across as arrogant and dismissive. But this was more than just a heated exchange. The controversy surrounding Behar's remark soon overshadowed everything else. Instead of damaging Karoline Leavitt, it turned the spotlight onto The View. Clips of Behar's comment and Levitt's composed response went viral, igniting discussions across social media. People from all political backgrounds condemned what they saw as bias and hypocrisy. Even those who disagreed with Levitt's politics acknowledged that Behar's remark was inappropriate and that Leavitt handled the situation with grace. The backlash wasn't confined to social media. Major news outlets covered the controversy, further amplifying the criticism against The View. Behind the scenes, ABC executives reportedly took notice. According to insiders, network officials were caught off guard by the scale of the negative reaction. One source claimed that ABC executives are growing increasingly frustrated with the controversy that Joy Behar's remarks frequently generate. Though The View thrives on debate, there's a fine line between sparking conversation and alienating audiences. Some believe that this time the show crossed that line. In recent years, The View's ratings have declined, and this latest scandal could worsen the situation. Advertisers, wary of public backlash, are reportedly reconsidering their association with the show. Executives are tired of cleaning up messes like this, one insider revealed. They're starting to wonder if a major revamp is necessary. Does this mean Joy Behar's time on The View is coming to an end? It's too early to say. However, this controversy is part of a larger issue. The treatment of Karoline Leavitt on The View is not an isolated incident. It reflects a broader trend in how conservative women are treated in mainstream media. From Kayleigh McEnany to Sarah Huckabee Sanders to Elise Stefanik, outspoken conservative women have often been subjected to dismissive or demeaning comments. Media platforms like The View often portray themselves as champions of women's empowerment. Yet, critics argue that they fail to extend that support to conservative women. Instead of engaging with them on the merits of their arguments, these women frequently face personal attacks or belittling remarks. This double standard doesn't just harm individuals. It undermines the very principles of equality and feminism that these platforms claim to uphold. The backlash against The View suggests that audiences are becoming increasingly aware of these inconsistencies. Rather than merely defending herself, Karoline Leavitt used the moment to highlight broader media biases. This isn't just about one host or one show. It's about how conservative voices, especially those of women, are treated in supposedly inclusive spaces. The real question is whether The View will learn from this controversy or continue down the same path. With ABC executives reportedly scrambling behind the scenes, the network may be forced to reconsider its approach. Karoline Leavitt, meanwhile, emerged from the ordeal stronger than before, but for The View, this may be a turning point that's far harder to recover from.